You've got questions and we've got answers. I'm your host, Bill Coffin, and this is a special Global Ethics Summit BELA Asks edition of the Ethicast. Welcome, everyone. We're coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia at the 2024 Global Ethics Summit. This is day 2 of the summit, but we are coming off of a fantastic day 1 of the summit, which was BELA Day. BELA Day is dedicated all about the members of the Business Ethics Leadership Alliance. And one of the great things about being a BELA member is we have a terrific service where if you have any question at all regarding ethics and compliance, you can send that along to your engagement director, and they will make sure they route it within Ethisphere, and that'll get to a subject matter expert, or they will direct you to a resource that will be able to answer your question and get you the solution that you're looking for. A lot of the questions we get are particular to a specific company's needs, but many of them speak to the larger issues that face the ethics and compliance community. So that's why we use this program to speak to these questions from a thematic level. And with us is, as always, Erica Salmon Byrne. Erica, thank you so much for joining us.
Bill, I am delighted to be here, and I'm particularly delighted that this is our second live BELA Asks, live from GES. Yeah. And the reason we're doing another one is because you guys keep having questions. So I'm really excited to be here to continue to answer these questions, and please keep them coming, guys.
Well, to that end, we have a double header coming for you. So we have 2 questions. Both these came in today by way. So we had one from a live attendee and one from a virtual attendee. So to everybody out there who's attending virtually, thank you so much. We are watching for the questions. They are getting to us. So thank you very much for your participation. The first question I have for you is this, and this is a really good one. How can a compliance team that is split between different departments, i.e. human resources and legal, produce great results despite being decentralized?
Yeah, I love this question because increasingly we are definitely seeing this structure, right, where the legal department has certain responsibilities. Our compliance function within the legal department has a set of responsibilities, and then there's a set of responsibilities that lives with the HR team. And even when you don't have compliance split that way, the natural partnership between HR and the compliance team is enormous, right? Yeah. So I loved this question, and the answer in a word is planning, right? It's planning. What are your objectives for the year? How are you going to measure the effectiveness of those objectives? Who's responsible for achieving those objectives? What are the modalities you're going to use to achieve those objectives, right? So taking the time, using the results of your risk assessment to do an annual planning process is going to be the way that you're going to make sure that everybody stays coordinated. Now, as Mike from GM said this morning on the session with Melissa and Liz that Ruti moderated, if you all haven't had a chance to see that yet, make sure to bookmark it and go back and watch it. It was a fantastic session. But Mike was talking about the fact that, look, stuff happens, right? And he was talking about this in the context of presenting his annual plan to the board and using that opportunity of presenting the annual plan to the board to say, these are the things we're focused on. These are the things we're going to be measuring ourselves against, and to get alignment with his directors on what those priorities were. He also acknowledged that stuff happens. We all know it, right? Yeah. Stuff happens. And I think he did say stuff.
I think he did say stuff. I think he said stuff.
Anyway, stuff happens. And you have to adapt, right? You have to adapt when those things happen. But if you have a plan, right, then you know what it is you're adapting from, you know what it is you're adapting to, and you can keep everybody on track. So the answer to your question, to this wonderful BELA member that asked this particular question, the answer is a plan, right? Have your annual plan, have check-ins around your plan, know what it is that everybody is pulling for, and how you're going to know if you got there.
Indeed. Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Please, always.
So when it comes to external validation of your compliance program, right, whether it's compliance leader verification, world's ethical companies, anything along that line, does the lack of a centralized compliance department provide any particular challenges or opportunities to those who are trying to really put forth their program in a way that is subject to external validation, external judgment?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, at the end of the day, the purpose of a strong compliance program is to mitigate people-created risk. Sure. And there are lots and lots and lots of different ways and lots of different structures that you can use to do that. The bigger issue, if you're running a decentralized program, is just making sure everybody's on the same page. Right. Totally doable, absolutely a structure that can work for an organization. It just requires a really deliberate planning process to make sure that you have done that effectively. And so, you know, it's and even if, you know, to go back to to the idea of external assessment of the quality of the program, we're actually going to have a session this afternoon that I recommend folks take advantage of if they can, talking about action planning after the external assessment, right?
Yeah.
Because the planning process is a continuous process. You make your annual plan, you check in against the plan, you update the plan, you adapt the plan for when stuff happens. Then you have somebody assess your program. Then you've got a new planning process that you can go through at that point. So there's no one way to
Sure.
structure a program.
Yeah.
It's really about figuring out what's right for your organization and what's going to enable you to have the right messenger, give the right message, using the right modality to the right audience.
Of course. Well, shifting gears a bit, I have a second question for you.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we're doing a twofer.
It's a twofer, exactly. What reporting mechanism should I consider when we see hotline numbers going down, but we also have difficulty convincing employees that it really is safe to raise concerns with their manager or senior leadership?
Yeah. Again, fantastic question.
Yeah.
Love this question. Because the fact of the matter is, when we look at our reporting data, what we see every single time is people want to talk to people, right? They're either going to their manager, or if they don't trust their manager for whatever reason, they're going to their HR business partner. Maybe they're going to the head of internal audit. Maybe they're coming directly to you, right?
Yeah.
And your challenge is making sure that you as a compliance team are seeing those issues when they come in by whatever mechanism or modality they're coming in through, right? It is not about the channel, it's about the issue.
Right.
And whatever channel you're using, make sure that those things are coming to you so that you can do something with them. I actually had a member stop me yesterday to say, kind of as an auxiliary to this question, to
Sure.
say, what if somebody doesn't trust their manager, right?
Right.
And my question back to that particular member, and I'll share it with you as well, was why not? Right? Why not? What is it about that manager they don't trust? And when we look at our culture data, one of the things that we see is that employees who say that they were dissatisfied raising a concern to their manager, the primary reason they said they were dissatisfied was, I didn't feel like anything happened, right?
Yeah.
I had an issue. I brought it to Bill. Bill never asked me about it again. I never saw anything come from it again. I never heard anything from anybody again. And so it's if you are in that position where you feel like employees aren't trusting a leader, employees aren't trusting a particular manager, the two questions are, why not? And then how do I scaffold that leader, right? How do I give that leader the right structure, the right component pieces to build around them to be able to effectively have that manager be somebody that I can bring those concerns and those questions to. And so a couple of points on that. Make sure the manager doesn't feel like they're alone.
Right.
If you are a BELA member, and we know not everybody listening to BELA Asks is yet a BELA member.
But we encourage you to do.
Join us. It's fun.
Yeah.
If you are a BELA member, we have a wonderful tool on the BELA Member Hub that is a manager approachability self-assessment, right? So this is a tool for a manager to take and use to ask themselves some questions about how approachable they might be as a manager. Are they leading by fear? What is their response to failure? When was the last time that your team brought you a small problem, right? That's, I think, my favorite question on the assessment.
It's a great one.
If you as a manager only get the absolute dumpster fires, right? Like stuff has to be falling to pieces in order for your team to tell you that something is going on, then you may be somebody who is scaring the pants off the people who work for you, and they are unwilling to say, I need help. I need guidance. Can you help me prioritize something? Can you help me address this particular client problem, whatever the case may be? So ask yourself as a manager, this is one way to think about it, is encourage your managers to ask themselves, when was the last time they got a little problem? Yeah.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Anytime.
So I found this question especially interesting because of some of the work that I did on the 2023 Culture Report that we published. And in that, we had some great data we surfaced on some changing modalities with reporting, especially by demographic lines. And one of the things we saw was that, reporting through a web portal, which traditionally has been sort of, a very distant, third or fourth place piece, it had not yet reached the level of, say, reporting in person or reporting by way of hotline, but it was increasing. And it was increasing as younger employees were kind of becoming more present within an organization. So I guess my question to you is, what are your thoughts on those there's other modalities that they never really seem to be at the very top of the list, but they, the extent to which they may be changing, or they may be offering to organizations an alternative way to get that reporting mechanism up and running.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and you're absolutely right. So the challenge with a web portal is it a portal or is it a form?
Yeah.
Right. If it's a web portal, then you as the compliance officer have the opportunity to structure those questions in such a way that you're going to get the information that you need as you are thinking about the intake process,
Sure.
right? It gives you the opportunity to provide some structure in terms of the way in which those pieces are being pulled together. It provides you the opportunity to think a little bit about how am I going to effectively and efficiently get the information that I need out of the person who's raising this concern. A web form, right, that just has 4 or 5 fields in it, maybe an open text box. Maybe you don't have a lot of a chance to customize the way that you're asking the questions. It just says, like, tell me what happened, right? You may or may not be getting what you need from that approach. So web reporting is great, right? Chatbot reporting is great. All of those things, absolutely use them, make them available. Again, we're channel agnostic. But if you are going to lean in on the web form, maybe you've got a high Gen Z population that's working for you, or whatever the case may be, if you're going to lean in on the web form, my advice to you is think about how the web form is structured or the web portal is structured, so that you're getting the information you need from the person who's raising the concern, and you're giving them the guidance of how to tell you the story in such a way that you get what you need.
Indeed. Well, Erica, as always, thank you so very much for answering these questions and bringing your expertise to bear. We really appreciate it, and it does so much to advance the ethics economy. So thank you once again.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure, Bill. It's a lot of fun to do these live, as opposed to
It is.
you in your box and me in my box.
Exactly.
The fact that we can sit here at the Ethicast booth at GES in the main lobby, and in spite of everything going on around us, right, chimes and people and all the rest of it, have these conversations and answer these questions. It's pretty terrific. So to all those BELA members out there, keep the questions coming, okay? And Bill and I will come back maybe today and answer some more.
Exactly. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you again soon. We are live in Atlanta, Georgia at the Global Ethics Summit. We're here today. We'll be here tomorrow as well. If you have questions, please be sure, if you're in the virtual portal, send them along. If you're here in person, find somebody from Ethisphere or come by the Ethicast desk and talk to us directly. There is no question too small to answer. We love hearing from you. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.